welcome. This is Claude Belly, your marketing funnel coach of 24/7 online marketing. I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Oh gosh, let's see who we have in the chat. Hey, if you are and you're online, just go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead and do that online so I get to see who's there. But I am excited to be here. I'm just checking, make sure all the sound system is working good. It's a one-man show here today. It's always been a one-man show, but one day I'll probably have a bunch of people that can make sure that all the audio and all that stuff works, so you won't have to see me look off camera. But if you do, I'm just checking the chat and seeing who's online and looking for any questions. So if you have any questions during this information session, I'm calling it information session because I'm not selling anything, guys. I'm not selling anything here for you guys today. I just want to give you guys some information, a heads up, right? And so the title of what I got our event today is called "How to Create an Online Course to Recession-Proof Your Business." So if at any time you have any questions of what I'm going through, any material, or you have any questions about what I'm saying, feel free to leave a question in the chat. But here's how I want you to work this, right? Because I'm on Facebook and YouTube, right? And so if you're looking at on Facebook or YouTube, there's going to be a chat window, and I want you to type in the letter Q, a capital Q, with a semicolon after it, then space, and then type in your question. That way, when I go through the chat, scrolling through the chat, I see a question, a Q. I know it's a question, so I know I need to answer that question. All right, and so otherwise, I kind of read through the other comments, but I might not know if it's a question in the comments. So if you put a Q in front of it, I know for sure it's a question that you want answered. All right, so that's a little bit of housekeeping that we have here. Obviously, nothing rude. Don't be rude. Don't be insulting. If you don't like what I'm saying, just sign off. All right. So, all right. For that being said, guys, so I want to kind of get started, right? And so, how do we create an online course to recession-proof your business? But I think the first question I probably want you guys might be thinking of, really, Claude, are we really in a recession, right? Is the world really going to recession? I hear this conversation about recession, and I kind of want to just bring your life to mind, right? We didn't necessarily go into a recession, but we went into a pandemic starting in 2020, right? We're kind of out of the pandemic. It's not really a pandemic now. Most people are out to work. No more government refund checks, right? So we went in the pandemic, but what happened, right? We shut down almost every business. No, we shut down almost every business, but what? Grocery stores. Grocery stores remain open. The essential stores that we needed to survive, to eat, to drink, stayed open, right? But everything else shut down. Even getting my haircut, I couldn't get my haircut. It was shut down. The barber was shut down. I couldn't get a haircut. Some people think getting a nice haircut is essential, but I couldn't get a haircut because it was shut down. All right. So what happens when it's shut down? What happens, right? And so what does a recession do? Recession shuts things down. That means people are not buying, right? So it gets shut down. So today we're going to cover, like, okay, really, are we really in a recession, Claude, right? Are we in a recession in the United States, or does it not affect the United States, just everyone else in the world? Is it a worldly recession? We're going to talk about that today. Is a recession coming soon? If it's not here, is it coming soon? Is it coming in the near future? Like, don't tell me it's coming 10 years from now, 'cause I don't care, right? But if it's coming in the next 6 months, maybe we need to talk, right? So we got to understand the recession. What's going on here? Um, what else we got going on? What business thrived during a recession, right? I want to say, what business kind of thrived during a recession, right? What's the growth rate of the e-learning industry? Are we learning something here? Does the e-learning industry grow? I mean, you talking about online courses. Does it really grow during a recession, right? And then I want to talk to you a little about what tools we need to create an online course, right? And we're gonna kind of go there, and we're kind of end it there, right? And then if you guys want more, I'm coming back again in another 2 weeks. But today is just an information session, just a little teaser, a little appetite, right? But I'm coming back. I just want to give you guys a little bit of information here. All right, so let's kind of answer the first question. Are we currently in a recession? Right. And I can pull that up for you guys. So I kind of did a Google research. Whenever you have a question, right, where we go? You got to go to Google, man. You got to go to the Googles. Right. And so we're gonna look over here at Google and see what they are showing. Let me just clean this up just slightly. All right, I'll move myself around just so I'm not in the way. There we go. So we're in a recession here with Google, and we go to Google. Are we really in a recession, right? So we go to Google because Google has all the answers, right, guys? Google has all the answers, right? So are we in a recession? So first thing we type, are we in a recession, right? And we can see right here at the top. Can you guys? Oh no, you guys can't see that. Let me blow that up. Let me blow this up for you. There we go. Here we go, right at the top. Are we in a recession? Google says, hey, Go vote. All right. It's November 8th here in the United States, so it means go vote. Though the economy has occasionally sputtered in 2022, it's certainly been resilient, and according to a traditional definition, the U.S. is not currently in a recession. According to a traditional definition, that's from Nerd Wallet. I'm not going to open up the article. Let's just scroll down some more. Are we in a recession in 2022? Right. That's what does it say here. Right. This is Forbes. According to the NBERs, I have no clue what that means. Definition of recession: a significant decline in economic activity that has spread across the economy that lasts more than a few months. We are not in a recession in the summer of 2022. Right, that was 6 days ago. This was posted, but that was 2022, right? And they're talking about the summer, and we're now in almost the winter. So, all right, so they're saying no, so far, no recession. Is the U.S. in a recession right now? What does this say? Right, Washington AP: the U.S. economy grew faster than expected in July through September quarter. The government reported Thursday, Thursday underscoring that the United States is not in a recession despite distressingly high inflation and interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve as of October 27, 2022. So not even 2 weeks ago, right? So this was reported. All right. So are we close to recession? Here's another question. How close are we to recession? Now listen here. So are we in recession right now? Okay, you got two people inside of it. Some people might say we are, but traditionally, right? Traditionally, traditionally, with the definition, we're not currently in a recession. But is it looming? If we're not in one, I believe it's looming, and I believe that most people will get that it is looming. Why? Because why? The Fed will not hike up interest rates if the recession was not on the way. They're trying to control it. They're trying to minimize this recession, but it's coming, guys. It's like a freight train. You ain't gonna be able to stop it. You might be able to slow down, but once it gets rolling, you ain't gonna be able to stop until it gets to its course, right? And so that's what I believe here. So let's go on. So let's see, are we actually coming? Are we close to recession? So still think Google. How close are we to recession? Bloomberg economists economics expected the U.S. to enter recession in the second half of next year. So they're thinking next year, second half, right? So July timeframe, summer of 2023. Okay, that we might be hitting that recession timeframe, right? So economists at the Deutsche Bank, one of the first major banks to forecast a recession, expected one to begin in mid 2023. All right, so are we headed for a recession in 2023? Fitch Ratings said on Tuesday, it's October 18th, right? The U.S. economy will face a recession starting the second quarter of 2023, but robust U.S. consumer finances will help cushion its impact. So, we're doing what we can, right, to try to soften the blow of the recession. Okay, we're trying to do what we can to soften that blow of the recession. Um, so we are doing what we can. How do we survive? How do you survive a recession in 2022? Well, let's see what they have to say here. Google. How do you survive a recession? Start preparing for a potential job loss. It has been made clear by representatives from the central bank that rate hikes could lead to economic despair and from in the form of job loss. Now, here's the thing. Now, when you increase interest rates, right, to try to slow down the inflation, right? Well, the natural tendency is to not spend money. So as we go, right, I'm no economics, but I'm just thinking logically here, right? If my interest rate is high, I can't borrow any money to buy stuff, right? I can't afford to borrow money anymore because it's too high. Okay. So therefore, I can't buy the big items I want to buy. House, cars, right? Right. The big items. I can't afford to buy those anymore. Right. So I gotta cut back on that. So that's the first thing I want to cut back on those big items. Right. So I'm gonna fall back on things I can, right? And then as the inflation rate keeps going up, right? Price of groceries go up, the price of items in the store go up, the price of meals at restaurants go up, right? Everything goes up. So now I can no longer afford. I can't afford to go out anymore, right? So I can't go afford to go out to eat. I can't afford to do this. I can't afford to go play. I can't afford to do that, right? So what do? I got to focus on the essentials, right, to survive this thing, right? Which is going to be the grocery store. And we're going to go in a minute. What are the top thriving industries, right? As far as what are thriving industries as far as in a recession, right? And that's what we're about to go into now. So let's talk about what are the thriving industries during a recession, right? So we know, what do we know right now? If I go into that, anyone have any questions first? Any questions first? All right. So what are the thriving industries what do we know so far? All right, we know. Okay, you could say we're not in recession. I think most people are saying right now because we haven't really tanked hard enough, right, in the United States or even in the world, right, that we're not in a recession. Now, the question I also have is this recession going to impact just the United States or is it going to impact the world and miss the United States? Well, it's going to impact the world. All right. That's some of the things I'm seeing online, right? Is there a recession coming online? Uh, let me do it. Let's go back to Google. Let's go back to Google here and let me do it. I thought I had it up already, but let me show you. So let's see. Is there a recession coming? Is there a global recession coming? I'm gonna type it in Google. Is there a global recession now? All right. Is the world going into recession? Washington, September 5th, 2020, as central banks across the world simultaneously hike interest rates in response to inflation, the world may be edging toward a global recession in 2023. This ain't just happening in the United States, y'all. It's going to happen in the world. And a string of financial crises in emerging markets and developing economies that would do them lasting harm. Blah, blah, blah. September 15th, 2022. All right. Okay, that's a couple months ago. Anything newer? Anything newer? Right? We're looking at something now. October 2nd, about a month ago. While the consensus is that the global recession is likely sometime in 2023, it's impossible to predict how severe it will be or how long it will last. Not every recession is as painful as the 2007 to 2009 Great Recession, but every recession is, of course, painful. That's October 2nd, about a month ago that came out. All right. So is there going to be a recession? Yes. I believe that there's going to be some form of recession. If you don't believe that we're in it right now, then we believe that there's going to be one coming in mid of 2023 sometime. So with that being, if we know that, right? If we know that, if we know that, then what industries thrive during a recession? Because you might be in an industry that might be thriving, so you might not. You could just turn this off, okay? Or you more likely you could be watching this, and you could be in an industry that's not thriving. So what industries are actually thriving through a recession? Okay, so let's kind of look at what we have here. So let's go to Google once again. All right, you guys can't see this. Let me blow this up one more time. I switch pages. All right. So what businesses thrive during a recession? Okay, what do we have here? And we got some ads. Can't trust people advertising, because they want you to buy something. Hey, we got good old Tony Robbins here. So what Tony Robbins says here: what businesses do well in a recession? Businesses that thrive in a recession are usually in essential services like healthcare, senior services, grocery stores, and maintenance, such as plumbing and electrical. So let's see. He listed 12. Right. Let's go here to Tony Robbins and see what he says here. It's got some blurbs. Give me a quick list. All right, here we go. Here's a quick list. 12 businesses that thrive in recession, right? Grocery stores. That makes sense, right? Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you, right? It makes a lot of sense to me, right? That they will be thriving during this time, right? Right. So what's the other one that we have here? We have healthcare. Healthcare is one of them. Right? That kind of makes sense. Like groceries, people need healthcare to live. That demand it doesn't decline with the economy. Just because you're in a recession, you still need to be healthy. You're still gonna get hurt. You still might get hurt, right? You still need healthcare. Oh, this is one that's kind of strange. Candy. Number three is candy. Humans are driven to seek pleasure and avoid pain, no matter the economy. So it isn't surprising that candy tends to be recession-proof. Snickers and Three Musketeers were both introduced during the Great Depression, as during the 2008 recession, Canberra reported record earnings. So if you're in the candy industry, go get that sweet tooth. Go get it. All right. Oh, what we got here? Beer, wine, and liquor. All right. Nah, not doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. Alcohol sales are another guilty pleasure, right? So people want to forget their pain, forget their misery. So let's just drink it away. Let's forget that we're broke and forget that we have no job, right? Don't know how they can pay for liquor. They don't have no job. But anyway, people go to that, right? Discount retailers makes sense, right? So I can't go buy the brand name stuff right off the shelf, brand new stuff. So let's go discount retailers and get the stuff that's discounted, right? Let's do that, right? So that makes sense. Children's goods, right? Baby products are almost entirely recession-proof. Parents can't exactly pinch pennies on diapers. Well, you could do cloth diapers. I did cloth diapers, but you still spend money, right? So it makes sense. Children's goods make sense. All right. Pet industry. All right. And now I did learn this. Pet industry. I learned this from the pandemic. I gotta be honest with you guys. I was surprised at how many people during the pandemic went and got pets. It made no sense to me, right? I mean, maybe 'cause I'm not really a pet lover. It didn't make any sense to me, but I was surprised. But now it makes sense, right? Because people want to feel they're lonely, right? If they're in a recession, you ain't going anywhere. You're not going out and about, right? You can't go travel. You can't go see people because you don't have the money to go see people. Just go travel. So you're kind of stuck in your own little neighborhood community or your own home. And so what do people that are single, right? They need someone to talk to, need something to do. So they get a pet. So it kind of makes sense. It makes sense to me now, right? I didn't know that before, but now it makes sense. All right. So what else we have? Financial advisors and accountants. Well, that's number 8. When we enter a bear market, everyone starts worrying about their financial future. All right. So my financial advisors and accountants, if you guys are not ready, get ready because it's your season. It's your season during this time of recession. They're coming for you. All right. So get ready. Prepare them, right, to get ready. All right. Which is why this is very important. This information session we have here right now. Cybersecurity and tech support. All right. No, this is a little different. I ain't want to think about this one. The current recession has driven activity online. We're shopping, working, communicating, and streaming more online than ever before. Okay, now it makes sense because we're what? We're streaming everything online now, man. One thing we learned from pandemic, right? I've been trying to tell people years before that we don't need to go into the office all the time, right? We got all the technology to stay at home and do all the communication, right? But guess what? Good old is coming. It makes sense now because the pandemic forced everyone to stay home and forced what? The technology industry to boom, especially in your streaming services and right and your virtual meeting services and all that stuff, your online shopping, your e-commerce stores, all that man, boom, because we were forced to stay home. And so what's going to happen during recession? We're going to kind of be forced to stay home. Unfortunately, right, if we're an employer, hopefully we don't have to let people go because we can't afford it. That's why we're having this information session. I want to show you guys exactly what you need to do to keep people employed and survive the recession. All right. So that makes sense. So cybersecurity kind of goes online with online activity. People are going to be doing more online stuff, right? Now repairs. Now I think you're in a recession. How you gonna get things fixed? Right. I don't know. Pandemic, I can understand because you still got a job. You just got to be home. But repairs? You in recession? I don't know. So what they got to say? When the economy is slow, things are going to break. Doesn't stop things from breaking. All right, that kind of makes sense now. The recession won't slow rain on the roof, water in the pipes, and the need for auto maintenance. That's why plumbers, electricians, mechanics, roofers, and all around handymen are likely to do well in a recession. Wow. Wow. Hey, handyman, people need to get stuff fixed. You guys are still in need during a recession. You're recession proof. Debt collection. It's a sad truth of recession. When the economy tanks, many people can't pay their bills. Well, that's true. They get behind on car payments, medical bills, and electrical bill. Debt collection may not be your passion, but it's certainly a recession resistant business. So if you're a debt collector, you're in business. Freight operations. Businesses that thrive in recession tend to have products or services that people need no matter what or what make no matter excuse me tend to have products or services that people need no matter what or that make them happy in hard times. Freight and logistics delivers both through necessities and the comforts, making it consistently recession proof. Now, what's a prime example of freight operation here? Anyone want to give a guess? Anyone want to get a guess? Freight operation. Anyone want to guess? Put it in the chat. If you know the answer to this, what is a prime business today that is a freight operations number 12? I know it might be a little bit delay, a little latency in the live stream, so I'll babble for another 20 seconds to make sure I get some answers in the chat. All right. If anyone can guess it, you're gonna win. I don't know what you're gonna win. I just want to see if you guys know. All right, let's see what we got. All right, no answers. Hey, Amazon, man. Didn't Amazon boom significantly during what did you see the most? You saw Amazon trucks, you saw people in their personal cars delivering Amazon packages, man. Why? Because we couldn't go anywhere. So we just went on Amazon and bought stuff. E-commerce took off. Amazon took off because of the pandemic. And it looks like it will do the same during a recession. So if you are on Amazon, then you are good. But if you come up with another Amazon idea, guys, then you will be good. So hey, those are if you can deliver packages, man, because people still want stuff delivered, you're going to be good. All right. So what else do we have here? Any other? So those are some good examples there as well, right? So let's look at some other examples here. Let's see here if I can find my other example. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Okay. Let's go back to another example here. Let me click on this link real quick. All right. Here's another example that I have for you guys. So that was Tony Robbins, right? Telling us what was good. All right. So here's another article here: 10 recession-proof business ideas. Right. This is Forbes. Right. You guys see this Forbes? Let me blow this up for you guys so you guys can really read this. All right. Forbes is from Forbes. Right. 10 recession-proof businesses. So home improvement contracting, right, is essential. Is a key business there. All right. Online reselling makes sense, right? Cleaning services. I don't know, but okay, I'll take it. Due to the ongoing pandemic, corporate cleaning services remain in high demand. Businesses regularly need cleaners to sanitize and disinfect lobbies, bathrooms. So I know, okay. Childcare still booming. Childcare, a expected annual what is that? What is CAG? Compound annual growth rate. I had looked that up. I couldn't remember what it was. Compound annual growth rate. Let me slow down my speech here. Right. There we go. Compound annual growth rate of 3.9% from 2020 to 2027. So it's going to expected to grow anyway. Online freelancers, right? Companies may be downsizing and laying off employees, but the demand for labor remains, right? So you become an online freelancer. Online teaching, right? This is kind of what we're talking about here. The e-learning industry, right, is projected to grow from 197 billion in 2020 to 840 billion dollars by 2030. That's just in 10 years. You're already in almost at 7 years from now, right? So if you have a marketable skill and a healthy dose of charisma, then you'll be able to teach anything online. Woohoo! No need for a PhD or teaching qualifications to offer lessons on photography, yoga, dance, and crafts from the comfort of your own home. To make this venture sustainable, launch online courses out on a platform such as Teachable to continue earning money with minimum effort. You will need to do a lot of marketing in order to attract students. However, you could earn thousands of dollars once you've managed to build a reputation. Wow, that's what we're going to talk about, right? That's why we're here, right? If I had to say the one thing that you can do to make your business proof, recession proof, if you're not already one of some of the businesses that are already naturally recession proof, is to go to online teaching. If you're a barber, photographer, right, a dance instructor, anything where you can actually like you're already in a coaching type of atmosphere, or if you're doing a service, right? Do it yourself. If a barber can teach someone how to cut their hair online, boom, they're still making revenue, still making money, right? And they're reaching more clientele, right? And you don't need to have a barber's license to teach someone. I mean, you don't need to, no one needs to go to barber school to cut their own hair, right? You just need to go learn how to do it, right? So you can teach someone how to do that online. Perfect, right? So this is the power of e-learning, right? And it's an industry that's growing. It's projected to grow significantly. And I'll give you some more information on that. So accounting, bookkeeping, and finance, we just walked over that. Tony Robbins said that. Repairs, Tony Robbins talked about that. Oh, look at this. Beauty business. People may be trying to cut down on expenses, but they still like to invest in beauty and self-care products. According to Lipstick Effect, people tend to spend money on small indulgences like hair salons and nails to compensate for the bigger sacrifices they make. So they don't want, so the last thing people want to give up is their haircuts. So you still in the beauty industry, right? The haircuts potentially, right? And the nails, right? So, that's cool thing as well. Food and beverage businesses, right? Obviously, we still need to eat. People have their own way of coping for recession. Interesting comfort foods. So comfort foods, right? Start your own recession-proof business. All right. So those are what Forbes are saying. So the one thing that I really want to stick out is online teaching, e-learning industry. Okay. So the e-learning, you can see it here. It is big, right? You guys see it here, right? This is Google telling me, so you know it's gotta be right. Is Google's telling me. So what? So I guess the question is, so if e-learning is one of the big things, right? And I believe that's the one on my end. So hopefully you guys are still it. But hey, we're almost about to keep this thing going. We're getting close to the end. So what is the growth rate of e-learning industry, right? So I want to kind of share that with you guys here in a second. So we go here, did a little research. I'm just going to show you right here, right? So the e-learning industry is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 14.6%, expected to hit 374.3 billion mark by 2026, right? E-learning industry is going to grow significantly, right? And we're already, this is based upon 2020 to 2026, and we're already coming up to 2020. So we're halfway there, guys. So why is it very important? If you don't have a course or e-learning course or training or something of that nature, and you're in the service industry, even if you cut lawn, right? Have a course as a backup to teach people how to cut their grass, right? Teach people how to plant shrubs, any of that stuff, right? Any home improvement stuff. Teach people how to do it. They might, because they don't have enough money to hire you, but they might learn from you. And then when they do have money and they say, no, we got money, I'm gonna hire this guy because he taught me all this stuff. Right. So it's gonna work. And if they don't hire, it doesn't matter. It's still part of your training. And you still look like a great person. All right. So e-learning is so, so powerful. And this is the one thing that I know is gonna make your business recession proof. It's gonna help you prevent you from having to fire people because even good workers, right? Um, because you just don't have the income coming in anymore to have the help that you need. You have to cut back. So if you want to avoid cutting back, right, we really need to talk about um, we really need to talk about creating online courses, trainings that will help people. And so what do you need, right? So if you believe me, if you're still with me, right, give me a thumbs up, give me a hand clap, give me something to let me know that you're still here, and give me a yes in the chat if you're still with me, right? Because I want to share with you guys right now actually how to the tools that you need to create an online course. And you're gonna need to grab a pencil and paper because I want you to write this down. I want you to I'm gonna give you the highlighted categories of what you need to actually create one. All right. And then I'm going to come back again in 2 weeks. I'm going to probably deep dive a little more into this information session. Okay. I don't want to keep this too long at this point. So, high level, what you're going to need, right? You're going to need an all in one course platform to host and deliver your course, right? And that's things like Kajabi, Kartra, a whole bunch of whatever that, Think something. What is the name of that place? I can't remember the name of them now. Teachable. Teachable is one of them, and then Thinkific. Thinkific is the other one. That's the one I never don't like saying that. And Kajabi. Right? So those are just some examples that you of those all-in-one course platforms, right? Then you're gonna need something to create PDF documents, right? Now you can use typically you can use Microsoft Word, or if you're using a Mac, you got Pages, right? And then usually you can export your documents into a PDF format. So that's usually taken care of. Presentation software, your PowerPoint or your keynotes, right? Create presentations. You're gonna need an online assessment software, right? So that way you can do surveys, quizzes, polls, right? You're gonna need a way to do that. It's gonna help with interaction um, with the students, right? And then it just kind of helps with engagement. You're gonna need a grammar editing software, right? You're gonna need to make sure your documents you create and your presentations you create, right? They're proper grammar, no misspellings, right? Sometimes it's embarrassing, but we are humans, right? And sometimes when we see a misspelling, it's gonna happen, right? Sometimes it happens, but you have a grammar editing software, right, to catch it, right, as best you can. You're gonna need a video editing software, right? Because usually a lot of these courses you don't have to be live. But even if you're not showing your face, right, you're gonna talk behind a PowerPoint presentation or keynote presentation, right? You still gonna need to edit that video because you might have some ums or does or whatever. You might have some mistakes, and then you need to cut it and edit it out, right, before you deliver it and host it and present it to your students, right? You're gonna need a video hosting platform to host these videos on, right? And some of your all-in-one course platforms will be allow you to host that platform, but if you do it something different, you're gonna need some kind of video hosting platform. You're gonna need virtual meeting software and app, right? So like a Zoom or maybe Webinar Jam or some other platforms that are out there that you can use, right? In order to go to meeting, webinar, WebEx, right? To be able to have a virtual meeting with someone or with a group of people to teach. You might use that platform. You might teach it live that way and just teach it live, right? And allows you to download the handouts, stuff like that. So you can do it, your course that way as well. You're going to need some video screen recorder, right? It allows you to record your screen. There's a lot of different programs and software out there that allows you to do that. QuickTime, if you have a Mac, allows you to do that. Camtasia or ScreenFlow, some other software, third-party software you can buy. Okay. And then we have video and audio equipment, right? You're gonna need that. You're gonna need some way to capture your video and then capture your audio. You're gonna want to have something sound to capture audio. All right. And then also we got the email software that you're gonna need as well. You're gonna have customer management system that you're gonna need, right? So email software, like your MailChimp, stuff like that. You better email your students or those who register for your class. Customer management system to keep all that under control. And then you're gonna need a merchant account and shopping cart, right? So for them to pay for your course, right? And be able to collect the money from their course. All right. So those are the tools, right? So I got a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 things are kind of listed off, right? And then if you want more details, some examples, I kind of give you some examples. We talked about that. But if you want more details and examples, we can go over that in our next session. Leave your questions and comments. So let's see if we have any questions or comments in the chat. Let's see what we have here. Looking over. All right, we got someone that is promoting something that no one needs to know about. So we're gonna ban. Yep. All right. So we got some bad comments in the chat. Sorry about that. If you guys saw that. Always someone lurking, man. Always someone lurking. All right. So any questions so far what we went over? All right. Well, thank you all for that. That's what we have. We're coming back in 2 weeks, Tuesday, same time. Going a little more deep dive into Recession-Proof, and I'm going to give you a little bit more how-to stuff, right? And that's it. But hopefully you guys found this information useful to you. Just want to give you because of high level, give you a heads up. Hey, putting your hand up. I'm putting a hand up. Hey, be careful, guys. We got the recession coming, so we all, including myself, need to be more recession-proof for what's about to come. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I love you all. Thank you, and God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.